Welcome to episode 46 of the interview series. I'm Adam Kemp, aka the Realtor for Hoopers. Today's guest is a graduate and current head coach of the Academy High School in Westminster. Zach, tell us.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Appreciate you coming, man.
Good to see you.
Every time I flick the wrist, you can bet that it's a switch. Realtor for Hoopers, welcome to the main event. I'ma give the people what they ask for. Whole squad moving like a task force. We move with military precision, accomplishing any mission. In 2020 division, just don't see no competition, don't see no opposition. We on top of the game, we not one and the same. I'm Stephen Curry, the range, I Allen I with the cross. I'm Kobe Bryant, the fade. I'm one that's calling the plays. Now what else more can I say?
Well, the first question we always start everyone off with is, tell us your basketball story.
Yeah, so born and raised in Colorado.
Okay.
Normal. I started out really young. My dad was a basketball player. My older brother was a basketball player. It's kind of a basketball family.
Yep.
Came here to the academy. It's kind of an interesting story how I ended up here. When I was younger, I kind of realized really quickly that I don't look like a basketball player.
Yeah.
I don't look like one. I'm short. Not a lot of people took me, very seriously. I think I stopped growing in like 8th grade.
Got it.
Maybe even a little bit later than that, but I was like 5'6", 5'7", something like that. And I kind of stopped growing. I'm about 5'8" now. So I actually lived in Lakewood and almost went to like Bear Creek in Lakewood, but went to their kind of freshman camps and stuff over the summer and pretty much was said like, I'm not going to make the team or anything like that. So ended up coming all the way up here. It was always
Did your family move here, or you just commuting back?
My dad commuted back and forth. I give my dad a bunch of credit.
That's awesome.
He worked at the tech center too. So he would drive me up here, go to the tech center, come. Yeah.
Good job, Dad.
Yeah. And my mom helped with that too, but it was mainly my dad that drove me up here. So it was a long drive for 2 years when I didn't have my license until I got my license. Yeah. It was always a dream of mine to play college basketball, and I had a good career here. And my senior year came around, and I was having a really good senior year. I think I ended the year top 10 in scoring all classifications.
Wow.
And I was like not getting heavily recruited, but had some offers here and there. And then towards the end of my senior year, I had a 54-point game. That kind of put me on the map a little bit.
Yep.
So it got me a little bit.
I don't care how tall you are. If you can put 54 up, there's a spot for you.
So I got a little bit of exposure with that. And then I signed with Mount Marty College at the time. It's Mount Marty University now. They're in Yankton, South Dakota.
Okay.
Played all 4 years there. It was like the most challenging but most rewarding 4 years of my life. Honestly, It was some of the best experiences I had. And then took a year off when I graduated, and then just got into coaching.
Yep.
And now I just coach all the time. So
have you coached where all have you coached on the high school level?
So I started at Green Mountain with Puccio.
Yep.
Puccio gave me my first job when I was 23 years old.
Okay.
So I was just like a program assistant there. I didn't have a team. I wasn't, freshman JV. I just helped out. Okay. And then 2 years later, I applied for this job and I got it right away.
Wow.
So I was thrown in. I remember thinking like, I'm not ready for this at all. Like I applied because I wanted some interview experience and stuff and old, my alma mater and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I applied, and they called me back a day later. And I was freaking out. I was like, I answered the phone. I was like, can I call you back type of thing. And then I've been here, this is my 6th year now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Well, you've obviously had some success because last year you guys made it to the Elite Eight of the 4A state tournament. Yeah. And you were a 25 seed, right?
seed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that had to be rewarding, but I guess tell me, as the coach, what was the kind of the best part of that run for you?
So every coach, to start the year always has this, confidence in their team that they're the best team in the state regardless. Yep. And we had talked about from the beginning of last year that we were a Coliseum level team. From the beginning of the year, everyone's like, that's our goal.
Coliseum is where the Colorado State tournament is at.
Yeah.
Continue.
we were a Coliseum level team, and we're in the toughest league in 4A. We're in the league with Kent Denver, Colorado Academy, Faith or Forge Christian, and it's a hard league. Yes. And so we're tested all the time, and we struggled a little bit throughout the year. But constantly we were like, I think we can get there. I think we can get there regardless of what our seed is.
Yeah.
And so then we ended up getting to the state tournament and seeing them play the way that I thought they could have played all year for the last 3 games was like the most rewarding thing for me, because I knew we had that level in us and it just clicked. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, people have asked me all the time, like, what got into you guys? What happened? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And it just, like, pretty much all together, they decided to play for each other.
Yeah.
And they played for each other, and we just became so cohesive.
Yeah.
That I thought if we could have gotten through Kent Denver, which you ended up winning it, I thought we had a really good chance of winning the whole thing. Yeah. Because, you know, Kent's in our league. We played them earlier in the year. They beat us by 41. And then we played them in the Elite 8, and we were down 5 twice, 2 different times in the fourth quarter, one with 5 minutes left and one with 3 minutes left. We just couldn't get there. I mean, they have probably the best player in the state, 4A, Caleb Fay and stuff, but it was just so rewarding seeing the hard work that they had put in all year just finally come together and us be the team that I think we all thought we could have been. Yeah. Even if it was the last 2 weeks. It was the coolest experience I've ever had.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I think that what's interesting as a coach, like, sometimes the explanation is that they're just playing better.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not like you made some kind of lineup change or drew up this amazing play that you ran over and over again. Yeah. It's just like, no, they're just playing better.
Yeah. And I don't, like you said, they're just playing to the level I thought they could. There was one game earlier in the year. We actually played at Ball Arena against Jefferson Academy. Okay. And we were unbelievable. Yeah. Like, I talked to my parents, talked to my brothers, I talked to Coach J-Mo. You interviewed J-Mo. He's my assistant, and we're sitting here like, are we as good as we think we are and stuff? Then we played that game, and I was like, we are as good as we think. Yeah. Like,
it's in there.
Yeah. A lot of people were like, you said, you guys were struggling and stuff, and we were struggling. But then, like, all of a sudden I was like, this is the team that we could have been all year. And then I told them after that game, I was like, you were that team one time. Yeah. You're running out of time to be that team again. And then they just flipped the switch. And it was, and the other thing too is I only played 6 guys for that last 3 games. Oh. And so those 6 just got this unbelievable cohesion that we were better than everyone except for Kent Denver, pretty much. Yeah. And I'll take that. I have so much respect for everybody that made the Elite 8. Yeah. But I truly believe, like, if we were able to get through them the way we were playing, it really could have happened. So,
well, either way, good run.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, you're also a coach at B&B Academy.
Yes.
So I guess talk to me why B&B has just been a place that you feel like connects with you as a coach and a place somewhere you want to coach going forward.
So I have a lot of loyalty to Michael and Stephen Ball, who run B&B. I always like to say that I was one of their first players to start B&B, because when they first started, they only did skill development stuff at Colorado School of Mines. Yeah. And I was one of their first players that did that when I was 12 years old. So I've been around B&B since I was 12 as a player. Okay. And I was never fortunate enough to play for any of their AAU teams because they just never had enough kids for my age group. But I think, and again, I'm obviously a little biased, but I think they run it better than any program. And because they base it on player development. Yeah. They get kids exposure, they get kids all that, but every practice of ours, the first hour is regardless of what team you're on, whether you're on the top team, the lowest team, everybody together does the same player development stuff. So they all get Stephen and Michael are some of the best players and Colorado players that have come in the last 15, 20 years. And Stephen's one of the best player development coaches, and Michael coached at Metro, the head coach at Metro. Didn't assistant coach at Metro, he was the head coach. And so their basketball knowledge is unbelievable. And Stephen's ability to have player development, having that level of coaching with them and having any kid come into the gym is wild. And then all of the coaches are either former college players or current high school players or current high school coaches. Yeah. And so the coaching staff is unbelievable. The players that go through there are unbelievable. Yeah. We play on the recruit look circuit, which is the biggest non-shoe circuit. So, like Puma, Nike, and Under Armour and stuff. And so we get exposure. We go to, Chicago and stuff like that. And it's just the level of, desire that they have to make sure every kid has a certain amount of player development instead of just playing. I think a lot of these AAU programs are like, hey, we're going to go to, Atlanta, Chicago, Vegas, and all these, and then they practice like once and they go out and the product's not like great. And they just get, hey, we're going to scrimmage for 2 hours and really not have like, they don't get their players.
Here's your jersey, here's your free pair of shoes, a scrimmage, and then we'll go play in a week-long tournament, play 100%. 12 games in 2 days.
100%. and we really focus on player development. Like, just to give an example, I think of the kids that I have returning this year and the kids that were on that Elite 8 run last year, I think 8 of them played for B&B. And so the player development is unbelievable. Right. The skill level that they get kids is unbelievable. And Michael and Steven just do a fantastic job of running it and making sure it's a kind of player development led program instead of just play led program. And I think that's something that I value as a coach is like, I want a lot of player development in my kids, and then we can kind of teach whatever we want to teach and stuff. Awesome. And so it's fun being there. They're great, and everyone there is great, and the kids are great too. So
love it. Great. Well, the next question, I guess, kind of connected into your coaching is like, what do you feel is the most underrated skill that you wish like youth players focused more on now? So and it can be it can be a tangible or intangible skill. It doesn't have to be.
So I mean, obviously, I look at it from a coach now, and more so than when I was like a player. I think if I was able to understand the game at a higher level younger, I would have been better younger. I think the ability to understand, have a basketball IQ is so underrated, because even if you don't have a great skill level, if you understand spacing, timing, flow on both ends of the floor, if you can understand the game, it becomes so much easier and the game slows down. And then when you work on certain aspects of your game, whether it's finishing or shooting or ball handling or whatever, it just comes more naturally to you if you can understand the game. I wish I paid attention to the game a little bit more when I was younger. I watched a bunch of basketball, but I was just kind of watching because, I loved those guys growing up. But I never really was like, what are they doing? Like, how are they getting the layups? How are they rotating defensively? Now I watch that and I'm like, I really wish I knew this at 14, 15, 16 years old. And then if I could really put on like an actual skill set, I think shooting completely separates players. Like if you're able to shoot it, you're like you have a chance to play regardless. And then, I mean, that you can look at me for an example. Like that was my main thing that I was able to do, and I played at 5'8" because I could shoot the ball. Guys that can't shoot, like our scouting report, if you can't shoot, we're 3 feet off. Like we don't worry about you defensively. So if you're
if it's a mid-range jumper, you don't have. People think of shooting automatically. I got to shoot a 3. Like even if you can knock down a 17-footer,
100%.
You can't just completely forget about you when you're on offense.
100%. So like, if you're able to have that skill set, because if you can't shoot, like you said, teams are just going to sag off. Teams don't care defensively. They'll let you shoot. Like they'll play the percentages all the time. And I think and the other thing too is I think so many kids try and have a perfect looking shot. I tell my kids all the time, one of my favorite players growing up was Kevin Martin. And he had the funkiest shot come, but it went all the time. It went all the time. And so like if you're consistently shooting, you're consistently working on getting a good feel for your jumper, and you can become a good shooter. I think that's the biggest actual skill, like basketball skill set that you can have.
I would agree. I think there's going back to your basketball IQ. I think there's too much focus on skill development, tangible skill development these days than there is just learning how to play the game. So just because you can play the game doesn't mean you know how to play the game.
Exactly.
And every team needs 1, 2, or maybe 3 guys that can just put the ball in the bucket.
100%.
Right? But what creates those superstars is the guys that can put that ball in the bucket, if they also know how to play and all those little nuances and all those little things and how to come off that screen at the right angle and all that little thing. That's what separates people.
100%.
Where if you just are just focused on, I got a good bag, or I can knock down this amount of jumpers and whatever, that's great. And I want you to continue to do that. But you got to know how to play the game, because if you don't, the people that know how to play the game on the next level, you're just going to get worked.
100%. We have a saying on our coaching staff, is like, we got to get guys out of the ball go hoop mentality. Because basketball is way more than ball go hoop. Like it's like, you got to understand, angles, spacing, timing, like I said, flow, and on both ends. And if you don't understand it, I don't care how good you are. Like You're not going to be able to play 5-on-5. You may be able to play 1-on-1, but very rarely are you going to be able to play 5-on-5 if you don't have that understanding.
I agree.
So,
well, sweet. Well, so I have a surprise question for you.
Okay.
And you don't know this is coming.
Mm-hmm.
But as we are both really good friends with Jonathan Morris, who you said JMO earlier, he asked me to ask you this question. The question is, do you feel that you are the best dressed coach in the state?
I would probably say I am the best dressed coach in the state. I do. You know, I usually wear like a 3-piece suit. I usually don't wear the jacket because I like to move my arms a little bit and stuff.
And you'd be sweating.
And I wear out the sideline. I pace that sideline bad. But I also take it as it's a professionalism that comes with it too. I really, and again,
Where'd that come from?
I think it's just kind of, you know, my college coach dressed up every game.
Okay.
And I always just wanted to have a professionalism. And also Coach Puccio. He did it. He dressed up and he made us dress up. But I think I would have done it anyway.
Right, that's just
I don't think, and again, every coach has, you know, their own thing. And if they want to wear jeans and a polo to a game, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, I just feel like it's a professionalism and it's a professionalism showing like for your program as well.
Absolutely.
Like I think if I ever have a kid, I would want them to have a coach that takes it serious and you know doesn't show up in jeans and like a long sleeve to coach like a high school basketball game.
Yeah. And
so I take it, and you know, JMO probably doesn't like it that I make him dress up, but he has.
He definitely doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not maybe doesn't. He definitely doesn't like it.
So all of my coaches dress up every game.
Okay.
Now there are sometimes like when we have a tournament or something like that, we'll wear polos, but it's still dress shoes, dress pants. But it's the professionalism that I think comes with coaching that I really, you know, value. That I want to make sure that I look professional, my coaching staff looks professional, the team looks professional. Now, I don't wear suits for B&B. I absolutely will not do that over the summer. That's more like I wear this for B&B and stuff. It's more high school. High school season, I'll dress up and have the professionalism because it's more of my culture, my program and stuff like that. So I want everyone to know that we're kind of a professional level program.
I think that's amazing, and I think that there's a lot of things that professionalism bleeds into other aspects of your program, whether people realize it or not. Like, guys probably show up a little bit more on time because you see that your coach is taking it that serious.
Yeah.
He's taking it serious enough where he's got to make sure his suit is ironed and he's got a new pair of shoes, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like if you see that, like, all right, I can't half-ass my way through this
100%,
program.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got kind of a more fun question here.
Okay.
So I need your all-time starting 5 for players that have not won a championship.
So I have a follow-up question. Do I have to put this 5 up against a legit starting 5 or positionless, any 5?
Any 5.
Okay.
So it's just the basically you can say top 5 players ever that have not won this championship, but I visioned it as like just position.
My favorite.
Yes.
Okay. So my favorite player of all time, and anybody that knows me, is Allen Iverson. I absolutely love AI. When he got traded here, it was the best time of my life. I was like, I get to watch him every single day. I get to see him play. I met him and I completely was absolutely shell shocked. Like I couldn't even
speak.
Oh yeah. Like I met him and like I was wearing this is how shell shocked I was. I was wearing an Allen Iverson jersey, and the friend I was with, I was like, I have nothing for him to sign. So I was like, sign my phone case. And I was like, and I'm wearing a jersey. I just couldn't. I didn't even remember that I was wearing his jersey. And so like he signed my phone case, and then I was wearing a super old school Philadelphia jersey.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I love that jersey. Can I sign it? And I'm like, I'm the dumbest guy ever. Like, I just met my idol. I'm wearing his jersey. And I didn't even ask him to sign it. And then he signed it. And it was like,
can you sign my forehead, please?
Yeah, it was like anything other than the jersey. Can you sign it? And then he actually was like, I love that jersey. Can I sign it? I was awesome. Please sign it. Cool. So him, number 1 for sure.
Okay.
I'm a big Nuggets guy, obviously. This one's probably going to surprise you. And I got to shout out one of my college teammates, Tyler Olson, because he makes fun of me all the time about this guy. I love Andre Miller. I absolutely love Andre Miller, and he's one of my favorite players ever too. Okay. Just like his unathletic athleticism.
He had a long career.
And he was fantastic everywhere he was. Yep. I loved him I think he's one of the most underrated point guards ever too.
Okay.
So he's got to be up there. Tracy McGrady, obviously.
Yep.
I think he's probably the guy to never really win one, other than Allen Iverson.
Yep.
Like one of the best players to never win one. Another kid that I loved as a kid was Peja Stojakovic.
Yep.
I loved him. Obviously, I remember I went to a Kings game when I was a kid, got there super early, and just watched him do his shooting routine. I was like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, it's just absolutely wild. And I've been going back and forth with this last one, and I'm probably going to have to do it because he's also a shooter, but it's got to be Reggie Miller.
He's on my list.
Reggie Miller has to be up there. Just, the iconic, 9 points in 8 points in 9 seconds, the choke game, and just his, him pushing off Michael Jordan and stuff. He has so many iconic things for him not to win it.
Yep.
Again, he's probably up there with Tracy and AI, the top guys not to win it. And again, I love shooters, and he's the shooter until Steph came around and stuff. So it's got to be him as well. So, well,
I'm not gonna. I won't take away from your list. I was to say, if you weren't gonna say Reggie, I was gonna say Reggie because I on some level I like kind of modeled my game off of Reggie Miller because it was like, okay, he's not that athletic, but somehow, some way, because he just always moves, because he was Steph before Steph.
100%.
Like he just is always moving and moving and moving and moving and moving. And eventually you're just going to somehow leave him open and he's going to knock down a shot. And he also just had this moxie and this dog in him and this whatever. So that is one of my most underrated players of all time. Like people know him and from shooting whatever, but I loved his game. So it's a good list.
Yeah, so. I appreciate it.
All right, so I got 2 final questions for you.
All right.
So you've kind of gone through your story. So whether you've said it in this interview or not, but what is something that you want to make sure people take away from your story?
I think the main thing is you can't expect results for the work you don't put in. I think and I tell my kids that all the time because, again, I don't look like a basketball player. I'm not athletic whatsoever. Yeah. I know some people will get upset with me by saying that. I'm really not. I'm not very quick, not very fast. I don't jump high at all.
On a high-level basketball skill, you are not.
100%. But my desire to be a college basketball player and be the best player that I could have been completely changed everybody that I played against. Like I said earlier, not a lot of people took me serious because, again, I'm very realistic. I don't look like a basketball player. Yeah. I'm very short. Yeah. And if anybody can take anything from me is if you work hard and you decide, and again, it's very cliche to say, but it's true. If you work hard and you put your mind to a certain level of discipline and dedication, you can, you'll go as far as you want to go. And I'll readily admit to, I probably could have worked harder. Yep. And I will say that to anybody. But I did work as hard as I thought I could. Yeah. And looking back, I probably could have worked harder. And me being where I ended up being at my size and level of athleticism, and it shouldn't have happened. Yeah. But I just decided that at a young age, credit to Steven and a lot of my coaches that I had and my dad and my brothers, that I just was going to be the best player I could be. And so, I have a lot of records here. Yeah. I think, when I graduated high school at the time, I think I had the 6th most threes made in the history of Colorado. I don't know if that's there or not. Yeah. And then my 54-point game is top 20 in the history of Colorado. Yeah. And I have all scoring records here. I have all 3-point records here. And so, again, there's a lot of really good athletes to come through here too. And I think just the main thing is if you put your head down and work, you can do whatever you want, because regardless of athleticism, it's just it's you against you. And I said, don't come into a high school program I didn't work all summer and I want to make varsity. Nope. You're not going to do it. Yep. You got to don't be surprised on the results you have on the work you didn't do. Yep. So you got to make sure you're doing the work, and pretty much for anything. That goes for anything too. It's not just basketball. Yeah. It's for work and for whatever you do.
I love it.
So
that's great. No, it's good. Okay, so final question. Sometimes it's the hardest to answer, but what is your one favorite thing about basketball?
I think it plays into kind of what I just said too. And Steve Kerr said it a little bit ago, how you play basketball is kind of how you live your life. Yep. And I think that basketball is 100% how anybody lives their life. I wouldn't be who I am without basketball. Yep. and I always make the joke, like putting the orange thing in the orange thing, like it teaches you a lot. It teaches you a lot. It builds a lot of friendships. It builds a lot of relationships. Like, again, I wouldn't know you without basketball. I wouldn't know JMO without basketball. I wouldn't know 80% of the people that I know without basketball. And a lot of people know me as a basketball guy. So like just having an orange basketball and a court like changes who you are as a person and changes the relationships you have, and it's a lifetime thing.
Absolutely.
And the thing I love about basketball too is it's year round. And so, like I love football, I love baseball and stuff. I know you can do indoor stuff, but you can play basketball whenever you want. It could be 100 degrees outside. You can be negative degrees outside, and you can come in here, you play, you can go outside and play. It is a timeless activity. It's a timeless activity. It's a timeless sport. And the relationships you have and the ability to be able to do it whenever you want, I think is the biggest thing, to learn who you are as a person. And that's mine. And I learned a lot about myself, especially in college. Like I said, the most challenging but the most rewarding 4 years of my life was playing college basketball, and I wouldn't have learned anything about myself without playing basketball.
No, I completely agree. I say all the time that, like, it's not maybe 100% of who you are, but if I play basketball with you and I see how you play, what kind of teammate you are, what you're willing to do, how you're thinking, all that, like, I learn pretty much all I need to know about you.
100%.
It takes me a couple games, and I'm like, okay, got it.
And like if guys are showing up right at game time, like I know like how serious you take it and stuff, and I couldn't agree more. I agree with that. So
all right, Zach. Well, I appreciate the time,
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you having me.
All right, thanks.
Every time I flick the wrist, you can bet that it's a switch. Realtor for hoopers, welcome to the main event.